Moving right along, we're now going to be creating our very first full app design. I am a huge advocate of learning by doing. When I was teaching myself how to build websites, one of the most productive things I could do was to take an existing site and attempt to recreate the exact same look with HTML and CSS. This practice is invaluable and, in my opinion, helps supercharge the learning process. So we're going to take an existing app and recreate the same design. The app I have chosen is the iOS version of an app everyone here is familiar with, and many people are probably using right now, the Udemy iPhone app. Now I've attached eight screenshots of the app screens that we'll be recreating, so if you have not yet downloaded those, please do so now. And let's go ahead and open up the folder, screenshots, and grab our loading.png. And go ahead and right click and select Open with Adobe Photoshop. Now this screen really only has two elements, the logo and the background. So for the sake of practice, let's recreate this screen simply by separating the logo from the background and creating two layers. The first thing we'll do is grab our magic wand tool up in the top left. And I'm sorry, before we do that really quickly, we're going to notice that this layer, our background layer, the only layer currently, is locked. So we're going to double click this layer, name it background, and click OK. And that's going to unlock the layer. Now, if you ever go down to the bottom right to unlock a layer, double click and it doesn't let you, the secret is to come up to Image, Mode, and make sure RGB color is selected. Now, the first thing we're going to do is grab our magic wand tool and we're going to select the white background. Now you'll notice that the white inside the D and the white inside the E are not yet selected. If we hold Shift, we can grab those as well. Great. Now let's go ahead and click Delete to delete that white background. Now we just have the logo. Now select Control D to deselect everything. It'll remove these marching ants around the logo. And let's create a new layer. To create a new layer, we can go Layer, New, Layer. Also, you can hit Control Shift N or Command Shift N if you're on a Mac. And I'm going to name this layer Background. Okay, perfect. Now, let's go over to our Fill tool or our Paint Bucket tool and make sure that we have our foreground color as white. To do this, click this top color and make sure you drag it all the way to white or FFFFF. There we go. And I'm going to just click on my background layer and fill it with white. Now you'll notice this just covered our logo. Well, that's fine. It's because the background white layer that's taking up the entire canvas is just above the logo layer. So let's rename this because it's not our background layer, it's our logo layer, and double click logo, and then let's grab it and drag it all the way above this one. There. So we have our very first screen for our Udemy app. Now the first thing I want to do is go ahead and save this as a JPEG, and we're going to save it as a PSD, and this is a good practice. Before we do that, let's exit out of here, minimize, and create a new folder, and we'll call this folder Udemy. And inside this, let's go ahead and create two new folders. We'll call one of them JPEGs, and we're going to call the other one PSDs. And I want to keep a separate file of every screen we make. One is a JPEG and one is a PSD. And the reason being, when we create our wireframes, we're going to be using JPEG files. That's the only way to do it. When we want to go back and edit something within that file, we're going to need to open it up as a PSD and then save it as a JPEG to make those changes. So let's open up Photoshop and save this one time really quickly, and we'll call this loading.psd, and I'm going to go to my desktop, find my Udemy app, and find my PSD, and we'll save this as loading.psd. Awesome. Now let's come up and save it one more time as loading, and let's find the extension JPEG and save. click OK. Don't mess around with the JPEG options. There's no need to. Now, we could have recreated the logo, but that's not really what I want this course to be about. I really want to just focus on creating a user interface for working applications. Now, the logo is most likely made with letters from custom imagery as opposed to a font. So there you have the first screen in our Udemy app. Let's move on to some more exciting and challenging design.